Hi there, everybody. Again, my name is Andre, and I have the pleasure of guiding you guys through this Lifting the Lid on Automated Patch Management webinar. Now, who am I and why am I the one talking to you right now? Now, I have been with Heimdall for about 4 years now. I've started with Heimdall since Heimdall had just a few products out there on the market, and I've had the opportunity to see Heimdall grow into the massive cybersecurity company that it is right now. I've been in multiple roles, had technical roles, sales roles, etc. And I had over 5,000 meetings already, which makes me now your Heimdall expert. Aside of me being here as your Heimdall expert, just a few words about me personally. I love animals. I have 3 of them, actually, 2 dogs, 1 cat. I love music. I also DJ. So in case anybody wants to connect on LinkedIn, on email, you guys have my contacts on the screen. And of course, I would love to exchange thoughts, maybe exchange some music and so on. Good. Now, let's get to a little bit of housekeeping. Then the agenda for today, we have 5 main points. A quick intro into who is Heimdall, automated patch management, and we will split this into 3 parts. We will split this into the history of patch management, patching challenges, patching strategies. Then we're gonna move into a high-level demo of Heimdall's automated patch management. We're gonna touch on some key takeaways, and of course, right, we will have a Q&A session. Good. Now, let's begin. Good. Now, before I begin, just a very important note. At the end of this webinar, you will have a survey coming to you, a feedback survey. It would be very, very important for us to have it filled in, because it will help us deliver a better webinar going further. Okay, now let's start. Who is Heimdall? Now, it all started with a winning idea back in 2011. This particular idea was the one that won the CTF World Championship of hacking, and it was actually based on DNS security, being proactive and not letting the attackers come in the first place. Then, of course, this award-winning technology continues to be perfected by a team of outstanding people in Europe. And after that, in 2014, Heimdall actually starts as a company. We're using this main product going further, and of course, it will assist the world in a lot of things like Operation Tovar against the Zeus botnet that was hosting very, very powerful ransomware, which we will cover on. We get appraised by the FBI, Europol, and so on. But as promised, I won't stay too much on how Heimdall came to be. Who is Heimdall now? We are a cybersecurity company that has 9 products available, and we are currently servicing 11,000 business-to-business customers, which is something that is huge for us. Good. Moving from who is Heimdall into the actual topic of conversation. Before that, let me actually keep an eye on this chat and make sure I can pick up any questions, because guys, if you want to ask anything along the way, if you feel like saying anything, raising any point, please feel free. I will read out all these questions and try to get to all of them. So, going back to the topic at hand, patching. In order for us to talk about patching, we need to talk a bit about the history of patching. What you guys see on the screen right now is one of the first computers out there that was programmable. So basically, if we see, this is IBM's Mark I, and if we look on the middle, we see 2 boxes. These were the input-output readers. And on these input-output readers, we were finding such programming films. These films, whenever they needed to be changed, they were literally patched with a physical patch. So this is how the word and the terminology patching came to be. And if we need to see this in a zoom in type of aspect, we can see the actual patches applied on the programming film. Now, how did it go from this, what we're seeing in front of us, to what we have today? And also, how did patching move from a functional IT perspective into something that is more tailored on security? Now, this is again going to be a bit of a history. So starting 21st century, we have Microsoft coming out with a bit of a vulnerability that was later called as Code Red. Basically, a lot of web servers that were hosted on Microsoft were taken down with the DDoS attack, a distributed denial of service attack, because they had something that was not patched. Microsoft released that particular patch 4 months before the attack actually started. So this was the first major event that made people look a bit at patching. I don't want to tell you guys how big of an implication this was, but it was, I think, about 2.6 billion USD as an impact so far. Okay, now the next events. 2009, we had two big worms that started to again create some stress around the world due to unpatched systems. 2011, malware creation hit a record of 26 million samples available. More than half of these were basing themselves on unpatched systems. And then we have something very important for Heimdall. We have CryptoLocker in 2013, 2014. Now, how CryptoLocker actually got to the systems was by using the Zeus botnet, the one that that Operation Tovar, which Heimdall was a part of, actually took down. Now, again, this was due to unpatched systems. Now, the last event that literally shook the entire world was WannaCry in 2017. Now, if you look at it, it was 16 years starting with from Code Red, again, due to people having a known and unpatched vulnerability in their computers from Microsoft. Again, they got this massive problem. Now, this is a massive problem because in just mere hours from its launch, just mere hours, it got to infect over 250,000 computers in just a few hours. And this is the moment where people actually started to take patching very, very serious as a security item rather than just a functional item. Good. Now, let's leave history aside and let's talk a bit about the challenges in patching. Again, please feel free to use the chat box in case you want to talk about anything. Just make sure that that you put it out there. I would love this session to be more interactive. But until then, let's actually see. What are the challenges in patching? Okay, we before we go into the challenges in patching, I will also want to see exactly what do you think are challenges in patching. So I will launch a poll. Okay. And I will leave this poll for about a minute and a half. And if you could, please just vote and let us know exactly what you think. So basically the poll stands like this. What are your biggest challenges in patching? And the first answer would be lack of an automated patching tool, which is a big one. Then user downtime and a lot of time consumed by IT, which is again, right, the reason why we're here. We're looking at automated patching. Risk of functionality and or dependency failure. This is something that happens. We all know recent events, Print Nightmare and so on. Then risk of using patches that have been compromised. This is actually dangerous. And the last answer on the poll, lack of visibility and rollback capabilities in case actually something happens, right? So you can actually tie this one with a few of the above. We have about 20 seconds left on the poll. I'm gonna grab a sip of water here, and then I'm gonna close the poll and share the results with you as well. I actually think the winner is gonna be in between lack of time and user downtime and lack of an automated patching tool. So I am closing the poll and I am sharing the poll right now with you guys. So as you can see, the biggest risk that everybody is facing right now is user downtime and a lot of time consumed by IT, followed by, and I hope I can see this, oh, let me actually zoom into this. I think I can actually zoom into this. Okay. So let's see what's the second one. I think the second and the third are very close together. And yes, we actually have second and third. We have them as equal. We have lack of an automated patching tool and lack of visibility and rollback capability. So yeah, that's why I wanted to zoom in this picture. I didn't want to get this wrong. And of course, on 3, we have, again, an equal standing, risk of functionality failure and risk of using patches that have been compromised. Thank you for that. Now let me close the poll, and now let me actually hide this and go back to the screen sharing. Okay. Good. Now, let's get back here. Good. Now, let's see. What are these challenges in patching that we're facing? Lack of time, indeed. We have difficulty in tracking and maintaining inventory information. Patch testing is too complex. Maintaining compliance while not disturbing production is another one. Potential user downtime, potential service disruption. And if you think about it, we could actually add some more to this list. This list can go on a lot. So are these actually challenges? Well, I actually say that we can take all of these challenges off the table. And if we are to use the necessary tools, the right tools, and the right strategies, we actually can avoid all of these challenges that we have in patching. Now, let's see. Patching strategies. Before I go into patching strategies, again, I want to see what's your opinion on patching strategies. So I will issue another poll so that we can see together what are these challenges. Good. So you guys have on the screen right now for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes as the last time, the patching strategies poll. So let's vote. First option would be I don't patch, quite dangerous. Second option, I use automatic updates provided by various vendors directly. Third option, I use manual patching only. Fourth option, I have a mix in between manual patching and also vendor provided patches. And the last one, I use a fully automated tool configured for my needs. Okay, let's also have a look at that chat box and see. Okay, let's see. I was hoping to see some interesting questions here so far, but not a problem. I'll give you guys enough time to come up with those questions. So let's stay some more on this particular one, because patching strategies is actually something very, very important. Okay. Okay, and we have a bunch of questions. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so we will give this a bit more time. We have only 66% voted in, so let's raise this a bit. Let's give it 1 more minute and see what we have as strategies, right? I'm very glad that I don't see votes coming in on I do not patch. Very important. Let's actually keep that patching activity up because we don't want to end up in like in the cases that we just saw, the cases that historically put patching on the map. Okay, 72% voted, so pretty close to my target there. Okay. Ooh, I see something nice in the chat. We rely on Heimdal, but we would love to understand best practices. That's exactly where we're going. So thank you for that. Okay. I also see some other questions that that we could pick up. Will this webinar be recorded? Yes, of course it will. And let's just give the poll one more minute while we look at these other questions. Let's see. Will Tor solve these problems for me? Most of them, yes, but it's going to be a combination between the tools and the strategies that you use. So it's we'll see together what it can do for you. Okay, another interesting question. Can Heimdal patching sit on top of a current customer vendor patching option? Well, it can, but it would defeat the purpose, and we will get to that in a second here. So 8 seconds left on the poll. We have close to 80% votes in. So let's close the poll. I will share the poll with you so that we can see it. And yeah, let's see. This one is actually a clean win. Most of you, which is very good, are using a fully automated tool configured for your needs. Very important. Then we have a bunch of people using a mix of manual and vendor provided patching, which is good, time consuming, but good. We will look at it together. Manual patching only, you must have some good time on your hands for that one. And also we have just a few using only the automatic updates by the vendors, and just few 2% that do not patch. And I hope that the people that do not patch are actually talking about residential situations and not enterprise situations, because that would be very, very dangerous for you. Okay, now let's actually take this poll away from the screen, and let's look at some of these strategies. Let me again open up the chat area so that I can see if something comes in. And let's see. Okay, so I have my chat opened over here so that we can see. Now, patching strategies, automated patching strategies, or patching strategies, and let's see where the automation comes in. We're going to look at the strategy. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of that particular strategy. So first strategy is no patching at all. Let's see. Pros, it has none. Cons, this is a huge alert. You should unplug your PC from the internet because you are exposed to a lot of danger, or you should actually be ready to just take your computer and re-image it and lose data, which is not a good idea. So this is not a good strategy at all. Please do not use it. Second one, automatic updates provided via vendors, right? From Microsoft, from the applications that you're using like Chrome, Java, Adobe. Pros, it gets the job done. Cons, total lack of control and reporting, which doesn't help you in a business type of approach. So this is not a strategy that we should be looking at or even thinking about. Third, manual patching. Now, manual patching, let's see, pros. We have full control and we can do reporting, but it's going to be manual, so it's going to be hyper time consuming, and it might actually need some user downtime if you don't have a huge team doing this patching. Manual manually approved patching via groups, rings, or how you want to call them, using automatic deployment tools. This allows you segmentation, is good for reporting, and also helps you with compliance, which is actually getting better and closer to what we need. But it's time consuming in setting it up, it's time consuming in executing it, and it will involve multiple IT members to keep this running, which might not be the ideal scenario. Now, the one that I wanted to highlight and the one that we will focus on with the best practices today is the fully automated patching configured on layers, on groups with specific delays and controls based on best practices mixed with your company's specific needs. Applied on a unified asset base, this will have a high ease of use while keeping control and involving as less IT members as possible when you actually want to perform it. And the only con in this one is it's time consuming only during the configuration itself. So that's why we would urge you to use this one. Now, what are the best practices in patching? And please keep using the chat box. I am eager to see all of these questions. And by the way, if we don't get to one or two of the questions, please do not worry. We will get back to everybody with the responses. Now, let's look at best practices in automated patching. First one, inventory all your devices that you need to get patched. Inventory all the software that you need patching, and if you're using automated patching tools, they will patch for you a percentage of the software that you have. Now, you need to be able to inventory and see what's patched by my tool, what's outside of that, so that I can decide on how do I patch those. Third, group your devices in groups, tiers, rings, how you want to call it, based on departments, software needs, and ideally unify the software versions in between these departments. If you cannot unify, think of actually creating two groups there, and we'll see why in the next one. Create a test group for each of your device groups, and the test groups should be one-to-one clones with the originals. This is very important. Next, identify dependencies. So you should identify if, let's say, this server, if it gets a reboot, does it cause any problems to your operation? This application, if another one gets updated like Java or any other example, will it cause any problems? Because you need to bake and work these particular dependencies in your strategy all the time. 6, schedule automatic patch deployments so that you don't need to always man the process, you don't need to push the process, and also have test machines first and production machines with the ideal delay. And there's no ideal delay. If anybody tells you you need to delay it with, I don't know, 30 days or something, which I see as a rule of thumb all over the place, please tell them that that's not right. And please run from anybody like that, because there's no such thing as a best practice. You need to have these tailored specifically to what you need, not what somebody says as a best practice. Then you should run trials to ensure that this strategy meets the purpose, and this would be actually good to be executed in a proof of concept, in a POC. 8, monitor reports daily to ensure that the test machines have 100% functionality. Why do I say that? If you have some test machines and the test machines receive an update now, and if your production machines have that update coming in with 7 days delay or 2 days delay, you should monitor and go on the test machines, make sure that update has not caused any problems. And in that moment, you know that when the update hits your production group, there will not be any problems. So that's pretty much it. That's the best practice if we sum it up to just 8 steps. And of course, step 9, repeat. Then, what can Heimdall do for you when it comes to automated patch management? So we can support for you Windows third-party software, Windows OS patches, Linux third-party software, and Linux OS patches. We can help you in grouping computers together. We can help you scan the network for computers that don't have Heimdal on them. We can help you in doing the inventory of all software, and we also have custom patching, so we can help you with those particular applications that you do not have in the automated patching, right? So you need a method to take care of those as well. We allow scheduling and delays. We help you with providing reports, and of course we have some other controls that that you can use on a day-to-day basis. Now, let's see. Before we actually go further and look at some key takeaways and everything like that, I would actually like to pause a bit the slideshow and to move in the actual Heimdal portal. Now, for that, let's actually end the slideshow. I am bringing up a virtual machine so that we can see what is underneath this entire process. I am remoted in this particular virtual machine using AnyDesk, and we will operate on the Heimdal platform on a quick account that I have created called Andrej's Testing. Okay, so what do we have here? We want to use this and try to replicate what we just looked at as a best practice, right? So first of all, what do we need to do? We need to identify what are all the machines that I want to patch. Let's say I have a list, right, of all my machines that I need to patch. Then I will install Heimdal on one of those machines. Now I can also use Heimdal after I have it installed on one of those machines, and we will see this particular one right now. Let me actually refresh this particular connection just to be safe. I think it for security purposes it logs me out. So let's get back here. Okay, perfect. I'm getting back. And let's actually look at this and have a quick tour. I know that some of you, I recognize some names, know the platform already, but some of you might not know this already. So let's actually just have a quick 1-minute tour. I have in my center side over here the reporting with the details on what has happened on my machines since Heimdal was active and based on the time frame selector. I have on my left side my main navigation panel in which I can go to home, which is this. I can look at my management widgets. I can see all the products that I have active, dive into more details, create more login accounts and give controls to people, right? When I create, when I help them with the login accounts. And of course, all the information that I could need. We have the ability to generate quick, clean HTML email reports. And why not go to support in case something is happening, right? Now, let's see, what do we want here? So I have installed on my first computer. What I can do is use this particular computer and allow it to scan the network further, and then I will pick up non-Heimdal devices on which I need to install. Then I have all my devices. What's my next move? I need to inventory all the software that I have on these devices. How can I do that? Heimdal can assist you by opening Patch and Asset Management, which is the patching program, the patching tool, third-party patch management, and I have my asset view over here. Now, in my asset view, I will be able to quickly see all the systems that are installed. As you can notice, I have 3 pages of assets over here. Now, I will see the versions, the name of the applications, how many endpoints and servers have this software. I will see if Heimdal can perform some additional controls on it, such as if Heimdal can uninstall this for me, and if Heimdal actually keeps this up to date for me. And this is one important step because I want to be able to see quickly if Heimdal will be able to update everything for me, or if I still need to look at some points in a different way. Now, if I don't want to go through this list, I can easily take out a report, and this will immediately download, and I will have the new information. If I want to just look at it like this, I can look at it like this. I can also sort this so that it works faster for me. So I have my report over here. Now, I have the applications that Heimdall will support for me. I have applications that Heimdall does not support for me. Some of these will be captured by Microsoft updates, so I don't need to worry about all of them. Some applications that I notice here, I might want to remove from my computer base, such as Snagit. I do not approve Snagit being used in my computer base, so I want it out of my patching strategy. I can just quickly hit an uninstall, and it will just uninstall it for me because I do not want this in my systems. So as mentioned, Heimdall also has those additional controls that that it can actually help you with. Now, let's see. I now have my list of systems that I want to patch. I have installed Heimdall on all of them. I have made my software inventory. I know exactly what I want to cover. I can unify my versions where I have versions out of balance. And now what I would need to do is move to the next step and try to group computers and make sure I don't have those problems, such as risking putting up bad patches, risking application failures, and so on. So what I can do now is go in the settings area. And when I go here, I can create multiple groups of computers. And these are called group policies in Heimdall. I have my computer sitting in the first one, group 1, as a test group. Then what I will do is I will open group 1 as a test group. And by the way, this is how you control all the Heimdall products, not just this one. So what I will do here, I'll make sure I just handle a bit of cleanup in patching. Currently, it is not patching anything for me. And if I wanted to start doing something, I can just give it the full command to install everything. It's even warning me that Snagit cannot be added here because it's added as an uninstall command, which is actually okay. So I'll just navigate in this list and take away Snagit, which has been done automatically. Okay, now I want this testing computer to get the updates so that I can see if I can release these updates for my production unit, which is the important group of multiple computers. So I will just update my policy. I will just impact this one policy. When I do changes, I can impact one or I can impact multiple policies. And now if I go back to products, I want to look at the patching. And now I want to see what are my current vulnerabilities, because Heimdall will show you a bunch of details. Latest status, latest patched, latest vulnerabilities, what has been uninstalled, and so on. So if I look at this, I have 3 current vulnerabilities because I did not approve Heimdall to patch them from moment 0. I wanted to know what are my vulnerabilities. And Heimdall told me I have 7-zip sitting at this version, and this is the latest one. It has a CVE attached to it and an impact score of almost 8 if I don't apply this update. Then I have Classic Shell sitting at this version when latest should be this one. And last but not least, I have Notepad++ sitting at this one when it should be this one. Now, after I do something like this, Heimdall actually does the job in the backend for me. I don't need to worry about anything else. I just need to give it some time, and it actually doesn't need too much time. But what will we do in the meanwhile? In the meanwhile, I want us to look at also operating system updates. So, as mentioned, I did not tell Heimdall to do anything. I just told it, hey, just report to me back what is needed. So I see that I have 2 Microsoft updates that are available right now. One of it is 21H2. This is an upgrade, and these are dangerous, right? You need to make sure that you test these before you push them out. So in this example, I actually might have saved myself some time by not getting into this update. So if I want to do this particular test, I can just hit install, suppress reboot or not, global install to all my policies, or custom. I do not want all the policies. I just want my testing machines to get it. So this is how I do it. It's easy, it's clean. I can group and look at multiple policies. So if I want to see ring 1 test, ring 2, group 2 test, and so on, I can just look at these. So in group 2, I have nothing right now. So this helps me to be very granular. I don't need to go and see everything at the same time. Now, in the meanwhile, Heimdall will start actually to do the job for me. It will start pushing up the updates, pushing in the updates. And now, if these updates actually don't cause any problems for me, I can allow my production groups to get the updates. Now, in the production groups, it's very important, always make sure you have the necessary and the appropriate delays or scheduling. So the third-party patching tool allows you to schedule when it is allowed to work, or you can use a delay of days. Both of these can help you achieve that best case scenario. The operating system updates allow you to again set delays in days, how many you consider are needed for your organization, or you can use the scheduler tool in order to have your test group receive it in, let's say, patching Tuesday, something like this, and your production group should receive it in 1 week post patching Tuesday. So you have all this granularity that you can use. And just for you to be able to see what's happening on the computer level, I will just synchronize my policy. This brings up the Heimdall agent on the screen. The policy will get synchronized over here. When the wheel finishes, it finishes the process. I'll just look at patching. I can see my 2 available updates. I can see third-party patches. I can see my details, see all the apps, look at the history, and I can see what's happening here. So as you can see, 7-zip updated, Notepad updated, like we were just talking about it, and it did the job for us without even showing us anything on the screen. And if we look at Microsoft updates, we now have these 2 updates that we saw as available, right? But this one will get installed. And once this one gets installed again, it disappears from this list. So the user also has visibility over here. Good. So this was what I wanted to show you guys as a short demonstration. Now, going back to our presentation, just to touch on some key takeaways. I promise this will be super fast. The best and most important one is no patching is the worst idea. Second, automatic patching via vendor provided methods like doing it via the automatic updates from Windows or doing it via the automatic updates from applications is the second worst idea. There is no one size fits all strategy. In case anybody tells you that, please run. They are not actually being fair with you. And last but not least, Heimdall is here to help. In case you want a full detailed demo, please do not hesitate to book this demo with us. We will be more than glad to talk about it. Now, you will have this also in the survey that goes out at the end of the webinar. You can ask for the demo right there. Next, we have related resources. You will notice in the handouts area that we have 3 files ready for you. We have a more complex approach over what we discussed today in the full patching ebook. You will see ITIL information, ITIL information. You will see NIST information. You will see a lot of research that was put into this particular ebook. And I would urge you all to download it and to go through it. We have the data sheet of the patch and asset management application from Heimdall. And last but not least, we have a case study from one of our important customers in regards to patching, which is Jysk. from Denmark. They are a very, very important living and furniture type of company, one of the biggest out there. So I would actually urge you to see what they say about our patching. Good. So before we go into the Q&A session, and we will spend some more time over here, I also wanted to announce our next webinar, in which I hope that everybody will join. It's going to be a webinar about ransomware. We're going to detonate a bunch of ransomware live. We're going to see how ransomware impacts our computer. It's going to be on the 21st of June at the same hour as today, which is 1 p.m. Britain Standard Time or 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to have a guest speaker, the current head of pre-sales, and we're going to have fun together with a bunch of ransomware. Now, before we move to the Q&A, please remember there will be a short survey at the end of the webinar. Please help me by completing it. Now, without further ado, the Q&A is open. We will stay some more time just to be sure that we can capture some of the questions here. So let's see what questions do we have. Come on, please do not be shy. Okay. Okay. Okay, I can see an interesting question. Just a second, let me read this out loud. Okay, it seems that the question area is not helping me out over here. Oh, perfect, perfect. I have this. Good. Let's see. Good. We have a question. Windows installs a lot of things I do not need, like games, Xbox, and so on. If I uninstall them, they often return with the first update. Could I solve this? Now, of course, if you control what Windows allows you to, what you allow Windows to install, you can actually control and not have these back on your computer. That's why it would be recommended not to use the Windows automated updates and use the ones from Heimdall or any other tool out there. It's not just Heimdall, right? So you can do that for sure. Let's see. Any other questions that we have? Okay. No, I don't see any other questions, but guys, feel free to send any questions you want. You have my contact details, and I do urge you connect with me on LinkedIn. Send any questions you have on my email. I would be more than glad to pick them up. And yeah, see you all in the next webinar. We're very grateful to have you here, and we will have some nice fun in the next one. Have a good day, everybody, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye-bye.